Hey guys, it's Drac and this is the new In-Strike Nerf Elite Stockade. Now this is no secret, we've known about it for a while. It is a barricade that's been upped and revamped somehow. Still takes 3 AA batteries, so I'm very interested to see how they made it better. Other than like maybe knocking out some of the resistors or maybe making the motors run on a higher amperage. Regardless, it is very, very interesting. Now, they have been spotted in Europe as well as Singapore. I tried to get one from Europe and that didn't work out so well, but a viewer from Singapore sent me over a Stockade and I'm very excited to have one to do a review for you guys. So big thanks goes out to him. It did get a little bit damaged, but we can still see all the important parts. Down on the bottom we have the Rampage Retaliator, which we know about, and it looks like the repaint should be pretty sweet, and the stock is exciting. It's the new Stockade Elite stock. It looks like it holds elite darts, and it has a slight drop. It just looks really, really cool. Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything else worth noting on the box. Obviously, we have the new Elite loadout up here with the Elite vest, but the box is claiming ranges of 20 meters. Now, by a rough figuring, 1 meter equals 3 feet. So for my American viewers, that is roughly 60-foot range stock claims. Now, that is, of course, with Elite darts. I also have a various medley of other darts that we are definitely going to try this with. But without any more talking about it, we're going to come in and unbox the blaster and see what we've got. Now, I actually destroyed a really cheap knife, so I was very glad that I found my other one. Now, we have here some instructions that we're not going to fool with, lots of warnings, lots of things about how batteries work. That all seems reasonably silly. This is what it looks like in the box. Couldn't be any simpler than that. The blaster slides out here. It looks like it's held in by its stock attachment. We slide the bag off. We see that it's been renamed the Stockade. White on this side, nothing on this side. All of our warning labels are in the same place. So it is a complete and total. They just use the same mold. I can't really tell anything different. It looks like it's the same size as the barricade. Same obnoxious front. Very, very cool. Same trigger pull. Although, trying to think. Maybe they've removed one of the locks. I'm trying to remember if I could pull the trigger when it was open. I don't think I could, so it seems as though one of the locks has been removed, or we'll see. Slowed down somehow. It's very, very awkward. I don't know if the lock has been removed, but it's definitely much softer now. So, here are 10 Elite darts. I'm actually only going to take 5 out of the package to load up into the Stockade. Actually, we may have to use all Elite darts. It looks as though the range improvements are because the flywheels are much tighter, which means that there will be more friction and more grip. So I may not be able to test it with all of the various dart types that I wanted to. I do have 2 regular streamlines that I can test it with. So I guess I'll fill the other 3 slots with Elite darts. Now, the stock is something I'm very excited about. But before we will unbox that, and then we'll get to the rest. So there's that. This looks like it should just pop off. Yes. Okay, so the stock is much thinner than I thought it would be. It looks like it is reasonably sturdy, despite being sort of flimsy looking. Same basic attachment here, and we do have screws here and here. It looks like to remove the orange dart holder piece. Now, all darts fit in. I'd probably load them from below so that I could pull them under, because this bar up here is a little bit restricting. I like that it's got this hollow point here so that we can see through. I think that it's very, very cool, and it's super comfy. It's very, very sturdy. It's hard to describe how stable it is, but it's very tight. It's got a very comfortable curve here, and it moves the blaster up just enough to look down the sights. Very, very cool. I still think that the barricade is in and of itself a pistol, so I will be testing the stock on something else at the end of this video just to give you a feel for how it works with other things. Now, the blaster itself takes AAA batteries, so I have 3 new energizers. Obviously, to get at the battery tray, we're going to have to do the same thing that we did with the barricade, which is undo this one Phillips head screw. Screw has a screw stop, which is helpful. You can't really lose it unless you lose the jam door. And we will slide our AAA's, or AA's in, excuse me, to the battery door. I never really thought about it, but it's interesting that in Singapore they use the exact same batteries we do, same sizes. I guess that makes sense. A lot of things aren't universal, so it's cool that that is. Okay, so it's not turning on, and that may be because the jam door is not closed. Okay, so there we go. It is on. First thing worth noting is that it is very, very quiet. It is so much quieter than I remember this blaster being. I know that the barricade is just really obnoxious and loud, so this is really cool. It's got a little bit of a low hum to it. It's hard to compare it to anything, but like, these motors are quiet, which is really cool. So we're going to go ahead and fire. And the streamlines went a little wacky, that's to be expected. I think that this is probably getting about 50 feet flat, which for a flywheel blaster is very, very impressive. I am going to try, and there goes the lock now. For some reason it is not letting me pull the trigger, so that's kind of interesting. I'm going to turn it back on, see if I can fire this one Whistler dart through these ultra tight flywheels, and I can, and the ranges are actually very impressive. I'm gonna shoot as far as I can to get an accurate test instead of just shooting a wall. So we'll try this. That one curved down a little, which is sort of disappointing, but it seems to be doing just as well. I don't know if it'll be able to take this suction cup dart, but as long as we're doing the full volley of tests, and that was a no bueno shot. So we're going to open up the jam door and remove the problem dart. It was doing a good job of taking these whistlers, so I'm going to fire 3 more through. We'll go elite dart, black whistler dart, elite dart. Alright, we'll let it rev up. About 50 feet. About 50 feet, and that one shot well over 50 feet, so that was pretty cool. So it will take whistler darts, and it does not like elite darts, and ironically there doesn't seem to be much of a difference. It seems like it's designed specifically to shoot these elite darts, so that is really, really cool. Overall, I like the blaster. I think that the repaint is sweet. The white line on the black is really cool. I think that it, like all of these elite blasters, should say Stockade Rev 10, and that kind of annoys me that it doesn't. I think that was a really cool way of identifying blasters, and it kind of made the line flow through seamlessly. I'll definitely be doing a voltage mod video for this soon, and probably take out the locks as well, because this looks like it could be a good HVZ blaster for the Draculina. But we will definitely never need to like E-tape these flywheels. That's the only noticeable mod that I can tell they've done. I'm gonna check real quick. It looks like the dart pusher is the same, and there is some sort of, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's either a lock or a mechanism that tells the flywheels how to go, because there's something in here that would be pushed out of the way by a streamline that definitely was not there in the barricade. So that's interesting, and we'll get to that in the mod guide, which should be around soon down below. I do have my death dealer. Anybody who watches my channel should know what this is by now. It is my go-to HVZ blaster. It's set many HVZ records, and it is one of my personal favorites. And it's an excellent candidate to test out this new stock, even though it doesn't match. It is very comfortable, very cool for those of you that don't want to buy like a Lightning Storm stock, because I do think that this is a better stock just because it's got a little bit of like stability to it as opposed to this. This is a much lighter weight alternative, and it holds darts. I may have to try this out because it's just really, really cool, very comfortable, and obviously if Nerf ever listens to me and makes the Elite Alpha Trooper that I keep asking them for, then we will have a perfect matching stock with this Stockade. So I am putting some elite darts in here just to fire through with the stock. And beautiful. Very stable stock, very cool. If nothing else, I think that this will retail for around 20 bucks in America. That's 20 American US dollars. And I think that the stock is worth about half that. So the Stockade in and of itself is a pretty good buy. I think it's solid. And I hope that you guys have all enjoyed my review. As always, thanks for watching.